Good evening to the press conference post-match of Match USA against Jamaica. Joining us today, Coach BJ Callahan. That will take your questions, please. So you know the process, you know how it works. Raise your hand here in the left, first row. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you, Coach. On the personal side, it was like your first moment of toughness leading this team after what we saw on Nations League. On the personal side, how do you came back from it? How do you spoke with the team at halftime? What did you change in your first moment of, I don't want to say crisis, but a tough moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, we're confident in the processes of how we prepare for the game and how we talk as a staff and talk with the players to make adjustments. So in terms of the feeling in the locker room at halftime, it was calm. We knew it was clear what we needed to do. And as long as we were able to give that information in a calm way and in a clear way for roles and responsibilities, I think you then saw a good second half performance by the group.
Question, please. Here.
Paul Tenorio from The Athletic. What is your takeaway from this game? Do you try to highlight more of kind of things that went wrong in the first half and kind of use that as a reminder and motivation for the rest of the tournament? Do you look at kind of the performance in the second half when you guys were able to push the game and eventually find the equalizer? What are you thinking through right now as kind of like your big takeaways from this result?
For me, the biggest takeaway is the same exact thing we've told the players throughout this tournament, is that our goal is to just get better each day. And so we're going to, we were able to get better in this game, and we're just going to continue to push to get better. We always knew that this was going to be a strong opponent. It's a very talented Jamaica team that can hurt you in many different ways. So again, there's a lot of learning moments for us, and at the same time, I think there's a lot of great responses that we saw tonight. So we'll build on the positives and, again, continue to navigate group play one step at a time.
Coach Robert Williams from IRFM in Jamaica. You said that you had confidence in the process and so your players were calm when they went behind. Was this confidence one that would be coming from behind rather than going in front?
Again, we just look at it from our preparation. We felt good with our preparation, with our game plan, and we know that if we just continue to work and work together and communicate with one another, whether we're up a goal or down a goal, we're just going to always be looking to get better each time. So, and each challenge that we're presented with.
John Hart. Okay.
John with ESPN. BJ, I wanted to ask a little about your squad selection today. You had a mix of experience and younger players as you have on the entire roster as a whole. What went into some of the decisions and were you kind of trying to sprinkle some of that experience? And I'm thinking of the midfield specifically with Aiden and Sands next to each other when there are maybe some other players with experience in that same line. Why did you feel like they were the right ones for this one?
Yeah, so I mean, I think we look at this from the whole thing is we're trying to get everybody experience. And so, I think we have a plan put in place so that how we're going to navigate group stage with all of the players and where they are individually in terms of, fitness and the ability to recover. So I think as we continue, everyone's going to contribute to our success. And I think you saw that tonight with guys, coming off the bench, stepping up, and in different types of circumstances, and that's who we are. That's what we're about, and we look to continue to do that as we continue to navigate group play here.
Any extra question here in the room, or I'll go straight to Zoom? Okay, please.
Sorry, BJ. I wonder also, one of the big experienced guys, the main guy in the lineup that's consistent from both was Matt Turner. Had a big moment in saving the penalty. How important was that, and how big is it just to have Matt for this extended period of time to get him these games, but in this group especially to have someone with that experience back there for you?
Yeah, I mean, we gave him the captain's armband, so I think that's a great starting point for us to see how valuable he is to the group. He's a player that came to us and wanted to play both tournaments. So again, his commitment to this team and the commitment to the craft, and then I always say big players make big plays, and Matt made a big play there where I think it also shifted the momentum a little bit with that. So those are what we expect. And, you know, that was his moment to step up. And it's the same thing we preach to all of the guys, that when your number's called, you're going to, you know, be expected to step up.
I'll go to the questions in Zoom. Please, Andrew Jones.
Thank you very much. Coach, I want to ask you about both Jesus Ferreira's performance in terms of how he was being such a playmaker and setting up real chances, and then also for Brandon's goal with his work from Jesus tonight. And Jalen Neal as well. You talked about how he looked like someone that's been on the field for like about 10, 15 years with Jenny after the game. Can you just talk about their performances and also the nice moment that you have with Corey Burke and Andre Blake after the game?
Yeah, so I mean, for us, I thought Jesus was able to find the game in different ways, and as he continues to mature in our group, like he can find the spaces, he can come low, link up play, he's able to run behind. So I felt like, and additionally, I thought that he, you know, led the front line defensively and coming back and helping win second balls. He did a really good job with that. So proud of his performance. Jalen Neal was obviously put into a tough situation tonight, and again exudes what we preach all the time: when your number's called, you step up. And again, he did it in a calm, composed way, and that's what you know, and that's what you're most happy about, is that the stage wasn't too big for him, and he stepped right in and did a tremendous job. The moment I have with Andre and Corey, again, I know how hard those guys work. I know how committed they are to the Jamaica team, and I just encouraged them to push the group, because I think they can make a really big run in this tournament if they can kind of keep it going.
Jonathan Tannenwald.
Thanks. Hi, BJ. Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philly Inquirer. A little more on the point about the forwards is, you know, obviously Jesus and Brandon are very different kinds of guys to lead the line, and I wonder if in a game like this, is it stylistic and tactical, or is it, you mentioned a little bit of rotation stuff? What comes down to the sense of who ends up getting that particular spot on the field to start a game?
I mean, I think we have confidence in both of these players, and I think they're both going to play big roles throughout the tournament. And Brandon was able to step in tonight off the bench and do that job. And if he gets his opportunity to start, we would expect the same thing from Jesus. So, you know, I think both players can make a big impact throughout this tournament for us.
Two final questions. Fabian Renkel. Kyle Bond.
Yeah, hey, Coach. I apologize. I missed the very beginning of this, so I apologize if this has already been brought up. But I just wanted to hear what you saw from Cade Cowell tonight, and what his chances of seeing more minutes going forward in this tournament are. It looked like he had a lot of good energy coming up off the bench.
Yeah, again, another player who made a big impact coming off the bench when his number was called. I think Cade's continuing to develop his game. He brings that directness, he brings that intensity, has the ability to go one-on-one and beat you in many different ways. So we have a lot of confidence in Cade, and I think again he'll be a player that plays a big impact throughout the tournament.
Final question for William Hathaway. William?
Yeah, my question is to Coach. What change did you make in the second half?
I think for us it was just about getting closer to our true identity. We were able to push our defensive line a little bit higher. We were able to pick the ball speed up. So I just think in general it wasn't major changes. I think the players just had a great response coming out of the locker room at halftime, and just pushed the intensity and pushed the tempo on both sides of the ball.
Thank you so much, Coach BJ.